G'day viewers, welcome to the video for the West Highland line south. I hope you've been enjoying the ambassador journey so far. We are getting right up into the north of the country now. This run that I'm about to do takes 4 hours, but I will compress it down into a couple of videos so you don't have to sit here for that long. So, we have got a pair of 37s by the looks of things. That's probably not the best horn in the world, but that's okay. Let's get some lights on. Those ones. That's the better one. All right, I will be using Rail Driver today. We're in 37111 Loch Isle, outward bound. And we are also, we've got, if I can slide back here a little bit, 37051, which does not appear to have a name. And we've got a big pile of coaches down here, so let's jump in and get this thing going, shall we? So that's released, good. That's in running, very good. Let's get into forwards. I am using a Rail Driver today. Let's get out of here. We'll soon be passing the remains of Rue Station and then Shandon Station, which were both closed in 1964 when stopping trains between Arrochar and Craig-and-Durand were discontinued. Alright, now the Rail Driver doesn't appear to be controlling my throttle. It's working with the brake. It's working with the independent brake. What if the throttle's locked or something? It does happen sometimes. Alright, so I think I'll be doing the throttle by hand. That's okay. That does happen with third-party trains sometimes. So I hope you've enjoyed the journey so far. I'll be handing over to myself after this run because I'll be running the West Highland Line extension. And after that will be Tintin running the last leg. Not sure if we've sorted out who's going for a swim between West Highland Extension and Tintin, but we'll see. Here's a gratuitous bridge shot. As you do, we have to do those, don't we? So it's actually the first time I've ever run this line. I literally got the key a day ago just to make this. Looks like a cool line though, even though it's a little long. Let's get some speed up or we're going to take even longer than necessary. Wandering along through the meandering Scottish countryside. So we've come from the portal at the end of the route. We're going to work our way all the way along the route. It's rather a long one. It's not really possible to drive it in a single setting unless you did it on your own scenario, because there's no actual scenario that runs the whole thing. There's 4 standard scenarios that run back to back that will do it. Looks like we're coming up to the top of the crest now. Started dropping the power off a little bit so we're not going too hard when we go over the top. Oh dear, we're supposed to be doing 35. What a good start. That's okay. That should sort us out for a little while. Gravity will help us pick back up once we get over the top of the hill up here. Coming under this little road bridge. So I picked these standard edition scenarios to do this part of the journey because at least in theory, so we're not going to pick up much speed. gravity's assistance. Let's put our power back on again. Looks like there should have been a station here at some point. Bit abandoned now. I picked these standard scenarios to show it off because in theory they pop up and tell you things about the route, because I personally, despite having Scottish relatives, can't actually tell you a lot about Scotland, apart from the fact it's green. And if we look out of the windows here, you can certainly see it's green. And now we pick up speed, of course. That's fine. Not a problem. Just hold this initial application for a little while. As we cruise along. I am running a visualization tool called RW Enhance, Train Sim Classic, which improves the appearance of some of the graphics. So West Highland Line South is from Milepost Simulations. It's published by Dovetail. It's 98 miles long from Helensburgh to Fort William, where we'll be finishing. At Fort William, we transfer over to the other route. You'll soon be passing Fuss Lane Naval Base. When built during the Second World War, it had a rail connection. Trident submarines are armed with nuclear missiles. If you look closely, you may see one of the submarines in the lock on a training exercise. After rounding tight curves, you must slow down for Garelochead station, but there's no need to stop. Do appear to have slowed down a little early when I was looking for the break there. This would appear to be the naval base, and we have a ship in port, a small one. Another ship over here. And there's our submarine there, which you can just see the conning tower sticking out of the water. And it appears to be about to crash into a seawall, so good luck to them. As we run towards Garelochead. It's a pretty looking route so far. It's a little repetitive. Any creatures in the paddocks? Doesn't look like it. down the hill, or actually now we've flattened out. You can see the endless green hills over there in the background. What have we got over here? It's the other end of the naval base. Isn't that the ship? Wasn't that over there as well? Wasn't this one also F-78? Or was it this one that was F-78? Oh, there's more than one F-78. Too many F-78s. Little foot overbridge. That looks quite steep. Certainly not going to meet today's accessibility standards, is it? Nice squeals coming through the corner here. Slowing you down a little for the upcoming Garelochead station. Advanced signal. Let's pop on a little power since we're going uphill slightly. We have a proceed on the home signal here. Let's pop out of the train and we'll pop up to the station here and have a bit of a look. So we've got two platforms. We have some people waiting who we will not be picking up. We appear to have a siding alongside as well. Now that you've passed Garelochead station, you will soon leave Gareloch behind before following the side of Loch Lomond on the long Climb up to Glen Douglas summit at 564 feet above sea level. You can see the Finart oil terminal below once you're on the long side of Loch Lomond. This lady's going to walk on my head. There she goes, straight over my head. Nice. Yeah, sorry, matey. This train's not a stopper. Just reminds me of that song. Wiggle, wiggle. Back into the cab. And I think we'd better power up, or we're not going to get up this hill, are we? Because I think we should watch some flag, don't you? I don't know how much we'll see in this train, but that's okay. So we have to look alongside for the very well and imaginatively named Loch Lomond, which I assume is long. Maybe it's named after a loch. Long? Shortest bridge shot. Let's go. Oh, there we go. Ah! Gotcha. If you haven't figured it out yet, I am a somewhat silly player. I do operate on real railways. I operate as a steam... Excuse me, there's something bothering my nose. My mustache hairs has gone up my nose. It's tedious. I operate as a steam locomotive fireman on a heritage railway here in Melbourne. In the outskirts, it's a mountain railway. A lot of fun off hire, very, very challenging. Looks like it's going to take most of the power of these locomotives to keep us anywhere near the speed limit. Oh, we should say hello to the farmer. They appreciate that. Let's skip this bridge shot. We don't need to do that every single one of them. I assume there'll be quite a few. Got a 35 coming up at the top of the hill, so we'll just let the speed drop by itself naturally. Like a cattle walkway under the tracks there. My voice might be sounding a little funny at the moment because the robot vacuum cleaner has decided to come and visit me. My sound system filters it out quite nicely, but it can make my voice sound a little funny. Serenity of the massive overhead power lines across the top of the picturesque forest, completely ruining it. That's life. As we come underneath the power lines, we'll see all of our lights flicker as though we're experiencing an alien invasion. The spaceship is about to steal our train. Where's the bridge? There it is. Nearly missed it. We are heading via Glen Douglas soon. I personally prefer a bit of Glenmorangie or perhaps a little Glenlivet. Douglas would do in a pinch if there was nothing else. Someone else to wake up. Gang us up there. At the summit, yet we quite clearly massively sped up there. It's a little strange. Shouldn't have been that quick. It's like the locomotive suddenly got another 5,000 horsepower. We're not going uphill, but we're still speeding up without any power on, which is interesting. That I imagine down there is Loch Lomond. I assume there's an oil refinery or something around here someplace. Oh, look, there it is. Bunch of great big oil tanks. Absolute blight on the landscape that Greta Thunberg would be completely proud of. It's her favourite thing to see in the world. And strangely, there's a container ship docked at the oil refinery, which is a... We'll just chalk that up as to being a little bit weird. And we'll go back to driving the train and paying attention, because clearly we're not. We have got another little cattle walkway there, underneath the rail. Little Gunzels riding along with us on our journey today. And they've suddenly disappeared. Some of the carriages had people in. More power line serenity, absolutely. It's what you need to complete every hilly, mountainous landscape. It's these gigantic power pylons. They just improve the inner beauty of the environment, absolutely. It's magnificent. It's just mankind's way of saying, nature, I don't care. You will soon enter Glen Douglas, leaving Loch Lomond behind for now. Implying we'll be coming back to Loch Lomond, I guess. Back into a 1 in 80. It's a little hard for me to rely on the HUD because my microphone kind of covers it up. Wait, do something about that, I guess. But I don't want to touch it while I'm recording because all you'll hear is blah, 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 blah. It's always unpleasant. Ah, the games must have been here. Chopped up trees. It's kind of their trademark. But this isn't by Rivet, this is by Milepost, I think. Yes, Milepost Simulations. So the line was built by the West Highland Railway. It opened in 1894, giving Fort William a link, quite a link to Glasgow and the rest of the UK. Unlike other major railway routes, the West Highland line was built to follow the contours of the terrain rather than having expensive large viaducts, giving a unique feel and stunning scenery that so many enjoy today. We have got another 15 coming up, so I'll just power off and we'll let gravity do the job of slowing us down. Probably have to add some braking in, I expect. There's the advanced starter. You call them advanced starters in the UK? That's an interesting question. You are now alongside Ministry of Defence land and will soon be passing the summit at 564 feet above sea level. You will then be passing the former station at Glen Douglas, where there is a passing lane. Passing a southbound passenger service 1T12 here. There's also exchange sidings at Glen Douglas for the short spur into the Ministry of Defence munitions depot. That would explain the large fence down on our right there. Let them know we're coming. We do have a green on the signal up here. Siding off to our right there. And we have a proceed indication on our signal up here. Let's just pop along to the remains of the station and we can be the signalman and watch this train go through. Why not? It's very steep here. There's some wagons over here. We can have a look. What have we got? Some rail freight, which are probably full of very well-guarded explosives for the Ministry of Defence. Oh, we have signs. MOD property, keep out. Oh, blow your ass up. Now that you've passed Glen Douglas, you are now on the long descent into Arrochar, back above the shore of Loch Lomond. Very good. And look at that, more serenity. You get the impression these power lines follow the railway line? Another little footbridge. Just treating the speed limit as a guideline here. And there we have Loch Lomond again. The very long loch. Oh, what's going on there? It's just a draw distance thing. Okay. Got another little cluster of buildings down here. Looks like we have some different tree assets being used in this area. Some pine trees. Oh no, whatever will we do? We're going too fast. So the area we were built in before, we start at Helensburgh Upper, up the River Clyde, followed the shore of Garelochead, passing the closed stations at Rue and Shandon, they were the abandoned ones we saw, and the naval base at Faslane. The first traditional West Highland railway station is Garelochead Station, before the line turns away from Loch Lomond for Glen Douglas, the first summit on the line. There is also a rail-served MOD depot. We are heading along towards Arrochar and Tarbet Station. The line follows the famous Loch Lomond. So we'll dare say we'll be there fairly soon. Just watching this scenery scroll by, I think I will definitely be making a highlights reel, because I think 4 hours of this is going to put people to sleep. It would be quite nice if you were here in person, but you will soon be able to see the small town of Arrochar below the northern end of Loch Lomond. From here it's just over a mile to the Arrochar and Tarbet station, where there is no need to stop. Why did that go from no brakes at all to total braking with no choice? Here's our little town here. Picturesque, naturally, with oh, so much more serenity running on the lines above us. Put on your tinfoil hats, folks. You're about to get cooked by 500 kilovolt lines. So they're probably not, because there's only 2 lines on each one. They're probably only about 300. Better start doing something about the 15 zone, I suppose, that's coming up for Arrochar and Tarbet North. Would it be Tarbet? I'm sure if they're fancy, it's Tarbet. But if they're not fancy, it's Tarbet. Or it could just be something amusing, like Welsh, where you have BWS, but it's still bus. Looks like it's our turn to cross the road this time. More exciting than that, crossing over the top of a road. We have a proceed on the signal here. Siding looks like it's on an unnecessary. So we slide on into the station. Going uphill slightly. It's we park ourselves to the station. Have a bit of a look. So we have a couple of sidings, we have some little oozes. We have some people on the station wandering around, naturally. Arrochar and Tarbet. He's a very Scottish individual. The train should come down the side, I think. Yes, that was a train. It's behind you. Yep, that's right, behind you. Okay, do you? No. Having passed the station, you are now above the town of Tarbet with Loch Lomond. Right. Very funny dance those two blokes just did. There you go. Sorry, mateys, we're not picking you up, because we don't care. Here on the West Highland Line South, we just don't care about our passengers. We're not picking any of you up. Now, it'd be lovely to have a nice view of Loch Lomond on our right, but unfortunately, all these trees are here. So if we fly up in the air in just the way humans can't, we can go and have a look at Loch Lomond. Isn't it pretty? Look, there's a boot. It's the Lake Cruiser. Very good. A lot of time went into animating this, I'm sure. Lovely. Dun 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 dun. Happily cruise along. So we've just passed Arrochar and Tarbet. The line follows the famous Loch Lomond, crossing Creed and Ardlui viaducts before starting the climb to Glen Douglas summit. The following miles see the line ascend and descend many summits found on the line, including Greenock Moor and Garelochead summit, and passing through the UK's only snow shed at Crutch. It's probably Cruac or something like that, but it sounds better to say Crutch. I could say crotch, but that would be inappropriate. So I wouldn't say crotch. Of course, up in Scotland, it's always somewhat moist, so it would be a moist crotch, and that would be more inappropriate, so we won't say that at all. Loch Lomond on our there. Lovely pure waters of the loch, no doubt used to produce. So what else would you do in Scotland? We do have a passenger view of this train, but yeah. Look out the first class window. And, yep, you can see absolutely nothing of Loch Lomond. Nothing at all. And of course, just as I say that, we catch a glimpse of the water. And then nothing. quick look on the map and see where we are. Center ourselves. So we've done a fair bit of the trip. We're probably about a quarter of the way in now. Quarter of the way of the whole route. Not a quarter of the way for the video, because I will be shortening this. Throw a few more kittens into the engine burning thing. The clag make it happen at doing its thing. Ah, yes. Greta Thunberg would rejoice at that sight. Downhill past the town of Sloy. When I was growing up, we had a brand of soft drink called Sloy. We had another brand of soft drink called Loys. So it was always slightly confusing. Did you get Sloy or did you get Loys? They're one of the first commodities apart from milk and bread which could be delivered to your home. Unlike today, where we have these many organisations that will bring stuff directly to your door. And expose you to all of the wonderful things that the world has to offer. Instead of the nice, high-quality, locally made items that we used to have, have things that are designed to last approximately 3 minutes. You are now approaching the Sloy hydroelectric power station at Inverglass and crossing the pipelines that bring the water down from Loch Sloy. During construction of the power station in the 1940s, there were sidings here and a small halt at Inverglass. This was used for bringing German prisoners of war from a sentence that just disappeared even though it had something to click to say I've finished reading it, which clearly I had not. Thank you, game developer. Here are the water pipes going down to the power station, which would appear to be here. And is there a great river of water cascading out of there? No, there's not. Just, pretending that this power station actually works. So there would be an absolute gusher there. You will soon be passing over Krieg and Ardlui viaduct. This is the only stone viaduct on the line, as the landowner did not like metal girders. After crossing the viaduct, you will enter Krieg and Ardlui tunnel, which is the only original tunnel in this time. Well, let's have a gratuitous viaduct shot, shall we? There it is. Isn't it impressive? Viaduct. It's actually not the only viaduct on the line, because it's the only viaduct on this modelled part of the line. But as we know, the West Highland extension has a much more significant viaduct on it, because it's the Harry Potter viaduct, where they get attacked by the Dementors. We would appear to be actually stopping at Ardlui North platform. How about that? Wake the clag machine up again. appear to be a cruise ship out on a lock today. Smell that juicy blue diesel smoke. Diesel smoke resonates on the palate, much like eating a nice fresh orange. It's very refreshing and invigorating. More farmers to wake up. Flip down to the cruise boat down here. The Lake Cruiser. Didn't we see you before? And in fact, we're faster than you, and you were going the other way then too. So I think this might be a magic boat. Perhaps it's like a yellow submarine, something that was invented on the dreams of various psycho drugs that were available in that time frame. Yellow submarine and Lucy in the sky with diamonds. I think we all know where things like that come from. Taking the opportunity to crank up the clag machine to ruin the Highland landscape. Lovely clouds of smoke to join the delightful mists that we experience here in the hills. Just ignore that little yellow flashing thing. It's important. You'll soon be arriving at Ardlui, where you'll be held to let the southbound Speedlink freight service 7D10 pass. As you may be here for some time, you can open the doors to let passengers stretch their legs. You must stop before the signal with as many coaches as possible in the platform. Once you're in the station, you have come to end of part 1. Ooh, the end of part 1! Yay! Start slowing down for Ardlui then. I would have thought there'd be sheep here. Looks like an ideal landscape for sheep. In 66 descent, not nearly as interesting as 69 descent, but that's okay. I can say, is this route so exciting? It's a good thing I've got a cup of tea. just make it down to 15 mile an hour by the time we get to that speed zone, I think. We do have a proceed on the home. I'll stay in the cab this time because I don't really want to smash the end of the platform there. And the signal ahead of us is against us, as predicted by the pop-up. Excuse me, coughing away. I'll try and mute that each time. Just bring the locomotive right up to the signal so that we can obey that direction of keeping as much in the platform as possible and hope we don't spad here. And we can pop open our doors. Let the good people in and out of our train as we wait for the goods train passing us. Did we foul the line at the back? Oh, yes, we did. Can we come forward much? I don't think so. Could probably get another half a carriage length in there, I guess, but that would help us to stop fouling the line, but you can't move at the moment because the doors are open. There we go. Part 1 is complete.
We played a game.